Tonight, on To the Point. United Farm Workers taking action after allegations come to light against its late founder, Cesar Chavez. An ADU homes project meant to bring family closer, now leaving one family out hundreds of thousands of dollars and fighting for answers.
It has now been taken. It's wrong.
A major shakeup for student loan borrowers. A federal judge strikes down a repayment plan that lowered monthly payments for millions. And new action on wildfire prevention. The plan aimed at protecting communities ahead of fire season. Tonight, serious allegations involving historic labor leader, the late Cesar Chavez, are prompting actions from groups tied to his legacy. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Bell. I do want to bring in ABC 10's Becca Hodberger, who's joining us live in studio to break down the accusations.
Alex, Cesar Chavez, who died in 1993, is now accused of sexual abuse of women and minors during his time as president of the United Farm Workers of America. Now, that's according to statements issued by both the UFW, whose founders include Chavez and Dolores Huerta, and the Cesar Chavez Foundation. We should note the UFW says it has not received any direct reports, nor does it have any firsthand knowledge of these allegations. Still, the union says it's removing itself from all Cesar Chavez Day activities throughout the U.S. That day, March 31st, is typically observed with marches in honor of Chavez and the labor movement he helped ignite. Both the UFW and Foundation say they are working with movement leaders to support anyone who may have been harmed, including setting up a confidential, independent reporting channel for potential victims. Now, the UFW's statement says in part, these allegations have been profoundly shocking. We need some time to get this right, including to ensure robust, trauma-informed services are available to those who may need it. We understand this will be tremendously painful for many, and we encourage our community to seek mental health support if they experience distress. We've reached out to the Chavez family and haven't heard back yet. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Dolores Huerta tells ABC 10 she doesn't have a statement right now, but plans on sharing her thoughts in coming days. And UC Davis tells ABC 10 the allegations have prompted them to remove Chavez's name from its long-running annual youth conference that is now called the Avanza Rising Scholars Conference.
All right, Becca, thank you. Well, California has spent more than $500 million since 2019 modernizing the state's 911 system, according to a new report from Cal OES. It was supposed to be done by the end of last year, but now the new goal for completion is 2030. Now, ABC 10 has reported on the spending and delays with this project. And today, a committee of state lawmakers conducted an oversight hearing. Cal OES paused the rollout of its so-called next generation 911 system early last year, encountering issues with its regional approach. It is now working on a single statewide provider. The goal is to upgrade California's 911 system to the digital age. And here's what a leader of the transition and then a state lawmaker had to say today.
Next Gen 911 will allow emergency call centers to receive voice calls, text messages, images, and video from callers. And these capabilities significantly improve situational awareness for responders and dispatchers, allowing them to better understand and respond to emergencies.
911 is so important. And with the Olympics coming, it's so important. We cannot blow this. We cannot blow this transition. We need closer oversight.
Working to improve that oversight is Republican State Senator Tony Strickland. He authored a bill that would require Cal OES to provide quarterly reports to the legislature on the development, implementation, and spending on the next generation 911 system. His bill cleared committee today with bipartisan support. Well, with record-breaking mid-March heat wave in California and then much of the West, weather-related events are again top of mind for state officials. For California, this means drought and wildfire season. State Senate Republicans this afternoon announced proposals to tackle some of those concerns. They call it their wildfire risk reduction and insurance affordability package. There's a big emphasis on wildfire prevention, especially by homeowners themselves, to create more defensible space and harden their homes, like through fire-resistant roofing and ember-resistant vents. Several bills seek to incentivize homeowners to do just that via tax credits. Firefighters joining the senators to support those prevention efforts.
That gives us the opportunity to get in and hopefully control the fires and push them around the homes and not burn down.
For our residents, now is the time to act. clear your defensible space, harden your homes, add backup power.
Other bills include giving state income tax credits on payments for Californians to repair or rebuild their homes, as well as a bill that would require state agencies to routinely identify regulations that can be suspended post-disasters to expedite the building process. After years of legal challenges, the Biden-era Saving on a Valuable Education, or the SAVE plan, has officially been killed by a U.S. District Court judge. The plan brought lower monthly payments to millions of borrowers. So the Trump administration had long called the plan illegal and sought to shut it down. Under the plan, some enrolled borrowers saw monthly payments as low as 5% of discretionary income. It also promised to cancel remaining student loan debt after making as little as 10 years of payments. In a statement, Education Department Undersecretary Nicholas Kent said clear guidance for borrowers enrolled in the SAVE plan and how they could move into other repayments will be shared in the coming weeks. All right, still ahead, a story you do not want to miss. A dream ADU turns into a financial nightmare. A builder of the homes now accused of fraud, unpaid crews, and unfinished homes. And then the future of the Sacramento Zoo is back in discussion, but nearby residents say they want a bigger voice in the process.
Today was the warmest day of the year so far. Tomorrow's likely even warmer. Thursday and Friday also even warmer. I've got a full look at the forecast coming up after the break.
Well, this heat is definitely sticking around. Let's get things over to meteorologist Brendan Minchef with a look at your forecast. We should pretty much get our ACs ready, right?
Oh, hopefully your AC's already on. I mean, mine's been on. That's how hot it's been. 86 was the high today in Sacramento, 87 in Stockton, 88 in Modesto, 87 in Vacaville, 77 in Truckee, and 69 in Tahoe. Temperatures 20 degrees warmer than normal in the valley and up in the high country. 25, 26 degrees warmer than normal in Santa Rosa and Ukiah. San Francisco also had its warmest day of the year so far, 20 degrees warmer than normal. If your AC's not on now, it'll probably need to be on by the time we get towards especially Thursday, Friday. We're going to be in those low 90s. We've already hit and surpassed daily high temperature records Monday and Tuesday. We're going to continue to be way above normal as we go through the rest of this week. Right now, 84 in Sacramento, 84 Stockton, 85 in Modesto, 77 in Placerville, Nevada City, 73 in Truckee, and 63 in Tahoe. Right now, as we look towards downtown, 84 degrees. This is where we were 24 hours ago. But we're going to hold on to that heat as we go into the overnight hours. So right near 70 degrees at 10 o'clock, mid 60s at midnight, and still in the low 60s as we head into those overnight hours. So starting off in those low to mid 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year in the morning. In the afternoons, 20 to 25 degrees above normal. Some 90s tomorrow in the valley, right near 90 for the rest of us. I've got 89 in Sacramento, 89 Vacaville, 88 in Fairfield, 90 Stockton, 90 Manteca, 91 Modesto, 87 in Jackson, 74 in Truckee, and 73 in Tahoe. Record high temperatures for the rest of this week and potentially even this weekend as high pressure sits overhead. It's not until next week that we'll finally see temperatures dropping back into the 70s, although that still is warmer than where we should be. Temperatures 25 degrees warmer than our normal high of 67 by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, as we're in those low 90s. The climate shift index tells us how much of a factor climate change is playing in this heat wave. A level 2 to 3 means 2 to 3 times more likely to see this heat in the afternoons, but in the mornings it's much more significant, an exceptional event driven by climate change, at least 5 times more likely. So weather impact alert continues for the next 4 days. Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. And our ABC 10 weather team is always here for you 24/7. You can get the latest conditions anytime with our live 24/7 radar on our free streaming app. Just scan the QR code for easy instructions to download that wherever you watch ABC 10. All right, make sure you stay with us right after this break. I'm bringing in ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen. She's joining us for an in-depth look at a trouble facing a local builder. Nona Holmes is accused of taking money but not finishing the job while families are out thousands of dollars. All right, let's get into the story we have been talking about. A Sacramento-based builder of ADUs called Nona Holmes is in the spotlight. The state recently suspended their license, and now the president of the company says Nona Holmes is in the process of closing its operations. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen has been talking to families for months who say that their ADUs still are not finished.
Alex, Nona Homes has been accused of fraud, non-payment of subcontractors, and overcharging homeowners. Following my months of conversations with homeowners, one family tells me their unfinished project is leaving more questions than answers.
We have a great view. We're going to look at the farms.
Sandy Johnson, a grandmother of 3, is ready to call this ADU her forever home.
It will be nice to finally have it be ours.
Her son and daughter-in-law, Corey and Christy Johnson, have spent the last year and a half adding an ADU in their backyard as a way to have grandparents nearby, using Sandy and her husband's life savings to fund it.
Developed this plan that we would build an ADU for them so they would have their own space and place. And it all sounded like a really great and easy idea at the time, but it would be perfect for us being in close proximity and being able to take care of them.
They signed a contract with Nona Homes ADU in September 2024. They agreed to a $275,000 project. Christy says they did their research, looking up the company through state and business websites.
I got on CSLB. I looked all over Yelp, Google reviews. There were no complaints on CSLB at that time and no negative reviews. They were all positive.
The Rancho Cordova Chamber of Commerce even celebrated Nona Homes with a ribbon cutting in this video posted on Facebook. The two people leading the company, CEO Dave Simmons and President Ray Guano. After paying $1,000 for the down payment, Christy says Nona Homes asked for more money and little else followed. The California Contractor States License Board, or CSLB, calls this a red flag. They say California law prohibits down payments to exceed $1,000 or 10% of the contract amount, and the contractor shall neither request nor accept payments that exceed the value of the work performed or materials delivered. That was not the case for the Johnsons.
But immediately, you pay an onboarding fee of $13,500, and that was paid. All of the invoices that our in-laws paid were exactly on time, and so that was right away.
The schedule of progress payments on their contract shows the down payment, but also an additional 5% due at signing for pre-construction onboarding. For months, the couple says they paid milestone after milestone.
We had architectural plans that they emailed to us. We had not seen anybody on our property, though. Not one person had come here in that whole time to make sure that the ADU was going to work.
From September 2024 to June 2025, the Johnsons say they paid $83,706.25 and saw no physical work done on their property.
Phone calls, emails, text messages happening with lots of promises. Oh, we're going to be back, they're going to be back.
This text message from July 2025 shows what appears to be President Ray Guano apologizing for the lack of communication, saying, quote, "This is a people business, and consistency, clarity, and responsiveness matter more than ever when families are trusting us with something as important as their home and their finances." But a month later, the Johnsons say they were hit with this lien from 2 building supply companies for more than $6,400 for lumber, doors, windows, and cabinets. Christy says subcontractors working on her ADU also told her they were not getting paid.
And called and asked, "Have you been paid?" And he said, "I haven't been paid. I've got a portion of it, but I'm still owed."
Christy says when she asked Nona Homes to clarify payments to subcontractors, the company changed its tone. In this email from Ray Guano, he says, quote, "Do me a favor, leave my name out of your emails." Adding, quote, "I will no longer have communications with you, period. Don't do it again, or I will come at you in my personal protecting rights."
I was afraid. I was afraid of him. He's a very, I'm going to say he's a bully.
From June 2025 to August 2025, the Johnsons paid an additional $110,000. In total direct payments to Nona Homes, they paid $193,706.25. Christy says they've gone well over budget and started paying subcontractors directly instead of through Nona Homes.
We're at getting close to $300,000.
Beto Yorostegui was hired by Nona Homes to work on the Johnsons' ADU. But once he finished his job, he says he was left without a paycheck.
I want to say $15,000 and change, plus some materials that we ended up buying to complete it. They were supposed to supply all the materials, but their list was short, so we purchased some stuff to complete it.
Adi El Amamare says he worked multiple projects for Nona Homes, totaling more than $40,000, including the Johnsons, and is still waiting to be paid.
and they are giving us a very wrong information between them. Dave say something different than what Ray he said. In the end, we find ourselves like in the big circle without any exit.
The CSLB confirms complaints against Nona Homes increased throughout 2025, with 8 complaints referred to the California Attorney General's office.
So Nona ADU and Construction has 23 disclosable complaints against them right now, and there are 8 of those that have been referred to legal action. Complaints include alleged violations of abandonment, excessive payments for both down payments and progress payments, not paying subcontractors, potential fraud.
On January 22nd, the CSLB told ABC 10 that due to these complaints and their investigation, they canceled Nona ADU and Construction's $25,000 contractor's bond and suspended their license. They say their actions will not stop there.
We're still going to pursue our accusation to revoke the license because that's going to help prevent future harm to consumers. Because if they continue to have a license, they can continue to potentially have harm to consumers.
In a statement, Ray Guanel tells ABC 10, quote, "Nona Homes is in the process of closing its operations. I did not control or direct the company's finances, payments, bank accounts, or accounting. Matters involving financial activity are currently under review by counsel. My focus is on protecting the people affected and allowing the proper legal process to take place. Because these are ongoing legal matters, I cannot make any further statement at this time." ABC 10 checked with the Johnsons to see if they've had any contact with Ray. They say they have not. Former CEO Dave Simmons initially agreed to an interview with ABC 10, but backed out and provided us with a 1-page written statement that says in part, quote, "I did not hold a formal role with responsibility for construction operations, project execution, contracting, billing, or sales. My involvement with the company was primarily related to marketing activities and administrative support, and I did not have authority over sales decisions, pricing, or customer agreements." He says he resigned from the company when he realized operations were not being conducted in a manner consistent with his values. For Christy and Corey, the fight is far from over.
This is their life savings. This is their home, the money that they had built 40 years ago and sold to build an ADU to spend the rest of their days on. And sorry, Grammy. And it's horrible because it has now been taken. It's wrong.
The Johnsons filed a complaint with the CSLB. Looking forward, they say they are considering taking legal action against Nona Homes. Ultimately, they say they have hope things will work themselves out, so Sandy can one day be able to call this space home.
You just go on then with life and look forward to what's coming and not just dwell on the difficult or the bad things, you know?
A spokesperson for the Attorney General's office would not comment, confirm, or deny any potential or ongoing investigation into Nona Homes. Alex.
And I think a question that a lot of people probably have are, what are Ray and Dave doing next? It was kind of a surprising new chapter that you found. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, Alex, this is what I was able to find. Records with the state show that Dave is the CEO of a company called Strata X Developments, which claims to help people in the Bay Area build ADUs. For Ray, social media posts show him promoting a company called Blueprint One Developments, and it offers a variety of services, including how to protect homeowners before they commit to a 6-figure construction project contract to build an ADU. And I want to note that I wasn't able to find any records for Blueprint One Developments being registered as a business on the Secretary of State's website.
All right, Jeannie, thank you for that update. If you have any questions, let us know. If you've been impacted, reach out to us. All right, right after the break, we're going to be looking at the Sacramento Zoo. It's been a topic of discussion, and community leaders as well as city leaders are now weighing in. We'll have more coming up. All right, the Sacramento Zoo is under discussion again. City leaders and the community weighing in on plans for a new space. So right now, discussions are happening for the Sacramento Zoo tonight. According to the Land Park Community Association, people who live near the zoo want to be able to have a seat at the table as City Council looks to approve a proposed expansion of the zoo. The community wants to ensure some of the issues like speeding, traffic, and parking are, of course, addressed. The Sacramento City Council was set to review a memorandum of understanding between the city and the Sacramento Zoological Society. That item was taken off the agenda and moved to a later meeting. Zoo visitors say that if the expansion is done correctly, then they'd rather keep the location here.
We would have to redo a traffic plan to accommodate the extra parking and the impact to the surrounding neighborhoods, but I think it can be done well with proper planning.
There is no set date when this item will be added to the agenda again, but Council Member Rick Jennings says they will try again next week. So, of course, we will keep you posted as always. And thank you so much for watching and for always inviting us into your home. If you have something you think the team and I should be looking into, you can always email us at tothepoint@abc10.com. Have a great day. Have a great St. Patrick's Day, and I'll see you tomorrow.